the Android Studio, we can simply search Android Studio on the Google, and if you go into that particular Android Studio website, you can download and install. Fine. Yeah, so you look at it, and right on the front page is showing up that download Android Studio. I mean, of course, my computer is Mac, so it is asking me that you can download the Mac versions, but of course, you can, whenever you are opening, it will ask you to for the Windows. So you download that installer and install it. So once you have installed it, actually, it will, when you first time run your application, it will show you something like this. That specific open, and this particular specific part will be empty because you have not created any application yet. So I have done a lot of things, so that's why I have a. So what I will do, I will start with a new project. And then here, first of all, you need to select a application name. So we can say that first demo, and then here you need to select that particular specific name. For example, we can say that it's our 72100, or we can simply say that mobile apps, mobile dot apps dot course dot malik dot co dot nz, or ac dot nz, you can select. Okay, I mean, that's the company domain name, whatever you want to create. And then the third one is that you need to select where you want to store that particular specific application. What I will do, I will just try to go here, and then I change those things here, like we are talking about the OP. This is IX72100 course. This is the week 1, and then we have that particular lecture number 01 and the first demo. I just try to make things more systematic. So whenever I want to find out the lectures about yourself, this class, I can simply go into that location and find whatever. And I will share this code on the Moodle as well. So I can simply. And then if you look at that, you want to include the C++ support, or you want to include the Kotlin support. Kotlin is a new language that and Google is pushing for the Android application instead of the Java. Okay, so if you want to include that particular support in your application, in that development environment, if yes, you can just simply click on that. But as we are not, so we are not going to do that. And then you click next. What is here? So if I just try to, like 28, that is the latest one. So look at that. What is happening here? They're saying that by targeting the API 28 and later, your app will run only less than 1% of devices. What does this target API mean? That target API mean that the minimum SDK or the minimum version of the Android which will support your application. So if I select 5.1, that's Lollipop, then it say that your application is going to run on approximately 80% of devices. What does that mean? So this particular application that we are developing, it is only workable or only usable on the devices which are running at least Android 5.1 or later. Okay, that is the target SDK. The minimum SDK that your application is going to support, minimum Android version on which your application can run. And if there is someone who is running the 5.0, which is the previous or the old version as compared to our minimum SDK, then this particular application, if you upload that particular application on the Google Play, that app store, then those mobiles will not be able to see your application, download your application, or install your application because they are using the older versions than the minimum SDK that you are selecting here. And of course, you can select that you are developing an application for the wear, like watches, or you are developing an application for the TV, or you are developing an application for the cars, you are developing an application for the Internet of the or Android things. But in this course, we will be talking more about that particular specific phone and tablets, not the wear and anything else. Okay, and then we click next. Once we have choose that particular minimum SDK, so we have different templates. You can select any template, and accordingly it will give you the some functionality automatically there from these templates. But for learning purposes, we are going with the empty activity which has nothing over there, and we can click next because we are learning, we are developing the things, so we are in the learning process. And here it is asking me the activity name, that is the class name that you want to give. So maybe we can say that first demo activity. And when I say first demo activity, that is the name of the class or the Java file. And on the other hand, look at that. It's also saying that layout name. I told you that activity actually contains represented by two files in our Android project. One is the Java code file. So there will be a Java code file named first demo activity.java. And there will also be another file name that will be activity underscore first underscore demo dot xml or layout file, in which we will define how our screen that is related to that particular activity it will look like. Okay, so it will create two files. One is the layout file, one is the Java code file. Okay, and when we click finish, it will start that creating that particular project for us. Slow, it is coming, but a little bit slow. My computer is running short of the memory. I need to clean a lot of files to make room for the new things. And at the same time, it is recording, and sometimes that particular recording goes into gigabit of files, gigabit of size. So I need to work on that memory issue. But anyway, so this is, it is trying to compile all those things, creating that particular project, resolving all those dependencies and everything, and then we will see more details about that project. I'm trying to close different applications that are running, so it is coming, updating the indices. I mean, looking at that particular status bar, it will show you the progress of that particular thing, that particular project. So finally, we are up. So if we look at that, it already created these two files. One is the Java code file where you can see that first demo activity, and it actually extends the app compact activity. Okay, we can also make, I mean, as I told you in the slides, that this particular activity should be an subclass of the activity. Okay, but actually the app compact activity is actually the subclass of the activity. So eventually our activity, that is the first demo activity, is the subclass of the activity. Okay, and it also create that particular XML file. It's related to more kind of, it will show you a screen. Indexing, waiting to build for finish. It's taking too much time. Yeah, finally it's coming up. It does not show me anything here. Nope. Now it's showing here, but why not this one here? But anyway, it will be look like that. That the white part here, it should be looking like this one. That look like this. So here we can design that particular specific activity. That is an XML layout file which you can define all those things. How we can define that is something that we will talk about a bit later, because we want to understand that particular Android Studio environment. Okay, so let me go back to the design phase. Okay, so if we look at that tools, we have two managers here. One is the Android Virtual Device Manager, and the other one is the SDK Manager. I told you that we have the SDK Manager, in which we can install, download and configure different type of software development kits related to different versions of the Android, and based on that we can do the development. So if we try to click on the SDK Manager, it will open up this thing. So we have SDK platforms. So look at that. It's telling that Android version API 28, Android 8.1, Android 8.20, Android. So whatever you want. I mean, we also have the other old versions which I have not installed, but starting from the 4 onward, I have installed almost everything. Now you can say, you can select the other one as well, and you can click apply, and it will download that particular specific honeycomb and make that particular SDK available to you for the development purpose. LLD, CMake, GPU debugging tools. I mean, if you are developing some application which is more kind of GPU based graphical processing unit, you are want to use that, you are using something virtual reality and something like that. So of course, with that particular thing, you need the GPU debugging tools as well. If you are using some maps, then you need to have those Google Play services installed over there. If you want to use the maps, just like the Google Map, it will show you the map positions and everything. So we have different type of tools which are available. NDK is there. I mean, here it is saying that available, update is available, uh, Intel x86x emulator accelerator is update is available. If I click on that, it will update automatically, but that's I don't want to do right now during that recording of the video with you. Okay, but these are the different tools that depending on your need you can select and you can download and you can install. Okay, right now I will just click cancel because I don't want to do anything right now. So this is your SDK manager where you can download different development SDK, software development kits, different tools that are which are necessary for your development, for developing new application, different type of applications. Okay, So you can do that. The other manager here is the Android Virtual Device Manager. Android Virtual Device Manager, in the beginning you will have nothing here, and then you need to click on that particular create a new virtual device. And when you create a new virtual device, first of all you need to select screen size, what screen resolution and so on. So maybe you want to say that I want to set a pixel 2. Okay, I say next, and then it will ask me that which specific Android version you want to install on that particular virtual device. Okay, maybe I can say 6 or 26. And then we have different options. If you go into the advanced options, you want a front camera, yes or no, what will be the network of the speed, what will be the graphics, how much RAM you want to use, what will be the memory size of that particular, or the permanent memory size of that particular virtual device, and so on. So you can select. I don't select anything, change anything, I just keep it to the default positions, and I say finish. When I click finish, actually it will create something like this automatically based on all these settings that you have created. So it will create that particular virtual device here. You can select the name and so on. So we have this particular Pixel 2 API 27. So if I click on that particular green button, when you created all that, it will come up like that. When you click on that particular button, actually it will start that particular virtual device. Look here, it is trying to start that particular emulator, a virtual device which is running in our own computer. We can't test everything, especially the connectivity, Bluetooth connectivity, NFC connectivity. We can't test it here, but normally we can test. We can look over graphical user interface and everything, that how it will look like on the real mobile. Okay, so it is coming up. It is installing that particular. I mean, it is already have starting that particular Android Studio and everything. So it is coming up that start that particular mobile virtual device in our computer, and we can test our applications. How when we run those applications on the mobile before you can install on a real device, you can test them on the virtual device. Some features, of course, you can't test here depending on the complexity of that particular application. It is coming up. Okay, so that is the SDK Manager, Virtual Device Manager. Now we come to our project structure. If I try to a little bit bigger here, so we have different views here. If you want to see the packages, look, we can see the packages here. What are they? Where are the packages? No. Yep, it's coming up. A little bit slow due to my memory issues. Okay, it is loading. So we have the Android package. We have, and again, look at that. The name that we have given over here, nz.ac.malay course apps.mobile.first demo. The first demo is the name of that particular specific application project that we have given, and in which we have different files. And again, our activity, first demo activity.java is also there. We have some other classes over there. What are those? That we will be talk about later, but we have different views of our project. We have a project view that will give you more kind of a directory structure view. Okay, and then we also have that particular Android view. Android view, that is the mostly we will be using, and unless and until we have a specific reason to shift to the other views. Okay, normally here we have the structure of our project for the Android system. In the Android system, if you look at that particular app, we have three different parts. One is the manifests, Java. Java, from the name, we can simply say that yes, our code files will be inside that particular one. And then we have RES. RES actually stands for the resources. Okay, so we have multiple type of resources which we can embed into our project. How we can do that, we will see it later on. But right now, start with the manifest file. Manifest, it has a manifest android.manifest XML file. Okay, in that particular application, it's an XML file, It's a manifesto of your application, in which we have a one application. In that particular one application, we have one activity. If we have more activity, there will be automatically add an entry inside this particular menu application file, that this particular activity belong to this particular application. Okay, and then we also have some, like we are saying that this particular activity is a launcher activity. We are saying that here. This particular thing is actually tell the Android system that whenever we are running this particular application, which specific activity will start by default. So we have only one activity, so that will be a by default starting point of our activity. I mean, if I try to run that particular, I mean this green button, green play button, if I say that, it will show me this particular specific Android virtual device is already running. Okay, so I just select that one and I click OK. It will compile that particular program and then run it here. What's going on? It is taking a low time. I mean, we have started it. It will automatically run that particular activity. Hopefully, by the end of our video, okay, that video session where we're recording. So this is the manifest file. It is more kind of a setting file for your application. For example, if your application want to access some specific resources in your Android system, then you can give those permissions inside here. Here you need to give those resource permissions. So that is more kind of a starting or the default settings of your application that you want to provide. Okay. Then come to the Java. Inside the Java, we have three. One have the Android test that we are not going to discuss right now. But inside the first one, we have that particular activity code file. So all the code files will go into that particular specific folder, Java, and then if you look at that particular specifically package name, this is our package name. So they have created a specific folder according to this particular package name, and then we have all the code files go into that particular folder or package, you can say. Fine. The last part is the resources. Inside the resources, we have four different types. One is drawable. Drawable means that all the images will go into that particular folder. We have already some images like here. That is actually more kind of the vector image. Okay, so that's an image actually. Fine. So these images are stored in a different form that normally we look at. That we have a JPEG images, we have the PNG images, different type of images. If you want to add certain resources, image resources into your project that automatically install when your application is going to install on the devices, then you have to add those resources here. You want to test something? My computer is too slow. Maybe I can just try to, I mean, this Android Studio is also, I think, look like a image to me. Okay, come back. I will just right click that particular image, copy it. Come on. Open that page again. This one. This. That. Okay. Come on. No. Yeah, it's coming. It's trying to come back. For example, I just try to, I think it's an image. So I will just like look at that. It's an image. I just copy image. Of course, you can download certain images from the internet, or you already have some images in your computer. You can just copy that particular image and then go back to your Android Studio. When you go back, right click on that particular folder and then you can paste that particular here. It is taking a little bit time. It will actually prompt up something that where you want to save that thing, so it should come up. I mean, if you look at that, and on the search bar, it's saying that building the Gradle, it is trying to compile all that particular application and trying to run on that particular device, but still there is something wrong here. And the reason is that I'm running out of memory and I have to fix that particular problem. Okay. I'm pasted that particular specific thing here, please. You can right click on that drawable folder. Guys, I know that a little bit boring, taking long time, but try to concentrate, please. Particular drawable folder, and then paste that particular image here. It show me a dialog box normally. Okay, where's my dialog box? Is it something here? I just try to close that one as well. It is taking my resources. Hopefully by the next class I will settle down all those things. I go and click on the paste. Show me that dialog box, please. Actually, it asked me that where you want to put over that particular file. When I say yes, there, and 2 times, and then next, it will paste that particular image here. It will bring that particular image in that particular drawable folder automatically. Okay, where is that dialog box? Slow computers. Okay, so let's that dialog box come out, and then we have that particular layout folder. Inside the layout folder, actually this particular layout file that we are right now looking at, we have two different views of that particular layout file. One is a design view. Okay, in the design view it looks like that. We can just click on some buttons, some images, some text boxes, different GUI components exist over there, and we can simply click on that and drag it here. Again, yeah, it's coming. So we can just drag it here. It will automatically add that particular button here. It is not responding to my actions right now, but it should be. So that is the layout folder in which all the layout files comes. Okay. And then we have the MIP map. That's again, I mean, if you want to create a specific icon for your application, how it will looks like, that is coming actually here. If we try to open that one, and it will try to open that preview as well automatically. It will show you that particular, like, look at that, that is an icon, that is a round one. I mean, okay, so it will automatically make it round when it looks like, whenever you install it, automatically show you that. So these are different icon type of icon images that we are going to save here. Okay, that go into that particular specific folder. And the last part is values. Here we have different colors. I just try to go into that particular specific preview here so that I can show you. If I just try to open that particular color screen and then look at that, we have different colors designed. And if I try to change that particular color here as well and go to my, look, it changed that particular title bar color of that box. So we have defined some colors. If I just try to change it back and go back to my file here, it's coming back again. Or you can say that if I change this particular color, which is actually the top status bar color, look at that, that's it is watching. So these are some color variables that we have designed. Color variables, these are again resources in your project, so we can use those resources as from the name. So this is a color name, color primary, color primary dark, color accent. So these are the color variables that we can use in our code as well as in our layout files to set the colors of different ones. We also have the strings, the application name, first demo. We can also say that boring demo, slow demo, too slow. If I just go and change this thing here, automatically come to my application, it will show you like the change the title of that particular project for us. Understand? So these are different string type variables that we have designed. We can define our side. Like I say that I want to design something string name. It is asking the name of that particular variable, my string, and then we can give the value. Just like starting tag, ending tag, just like in XML or the HTML. So we can give value boring class. So we can define and then later on we can use. I mean here, if we look at that, our manifest file. In the manifest file is actually I am using that particular add the rate of string app name. Maybe I can say that add the rate of string my string. It's changed the label of that particular. I just change that particular variable name, automatically it is shifting that particular to the other part. So these are some variables, some known coding resources that we can define. Colors, strings. The third one is the styles. By default, we are saying that that application theme, how it will look like, what it will have. So that theme is coming actually from something like this. For example, if I say that dot no action bar. So when I say no action bar, come down here, that action bar gone. I change the style of that particular. They have already been defined by in the Android libraries and everything, and we are just using them. If you want to build your own style, yes, you can do that, but of course you need to understand all those different type of characters, attributes, properties, and everything. You need to set all those things. Yes, you can, and then you can use that particular specific style in your applications. Okay, so these are, I just try to make it back to the default settings. Okay, and if I come back here, we have that action bar back here. So this is the structure of our project: manifest file, code files, and the resources. Maybe I can try to again paste that thing. Is it coming? No. Maybe I can just try to save it somewhere and then like save as. Maybe that this is the reason that is not coming up. I go into my download folder. uh, it is an svg file. It is more like that, just like we have seen those svg files, those files inside. So if I just try to import, um, where is my download folder? Download folder. Too slow. Come on, go to the top. We have that Android Studio logo. I copy it and then I go back to my drawable folder and paste it. Ah, that could be the reason, because we are down copying from that particular web page, so that is not coming up. So it is drawable folder I want to put. I say set OK. Again, it will all confirm me that yes, you want to put it over here. Yes. I mean, why we are saying this thing here? Look at that. First of all, this dash sign is not acceptable inside the resource name. That resource name should be in the smaller letters, not capital letters. Like we can't use S capital. No. So if I just try to change that particular dash sign with the underscore sign, and then I say OK. So that's why first I say that where you want to store it, and then second time it will asking you to, if you want to change the name of that particular resource, because we have some specific rules for the resource name. Small letters, no capital letters. Okay, we can't use dash. Yes, underscore we can use. So if we look at that, it is actually coming up. It's showing me all those things. Fine. And we can use that particular specific resource later on when we are doing to that. So this is the structure of your project: manifest file, code files, resources, different type of resources what we have discussed. And then we have look at that particular Android Virtual Device Manager, Android SDK Manager. Maybe I, we can run it, try it last time if it is coming up or not. Maybe I try to tone down the version of 2.6. It will start that particular automatically because nothing was running. So we are just saying that start something, and then it will first run start that particular Android virtual device for us. 11 actionable, 3 executable, 8 something, some problem it is saying that. Okay, I think that my memory is need to be fixed. So that is how our project look like. What is the structure of that particular project? What are different parts? What are their meanings? Two tools we have discussed: SDK Manager and the Android Virtual Device Manager.